Sorry, it started. So I forgot. And it's pretty banner, isn't it?
Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of If It Wasn't For My Knees. And tonight we've only got a couple of people in because they're all off watching international football because it's so interesting and so riveting. But yeah, we've got Mikey D. Sorry, go on, Mikey.
We've got the significant people here.
There we go, exactly. So we've got Mikey D, we've got Uche. And as I mentioned, it's international week and weekend, so quite a few international games have been going on, World Cup qualifiers, as well as a few friendlies, and of course the Nations League. Now, I'm one of the ones who sort of turned my nose up at the Nations League when it was first announced. I watched some of the games whenever it last was on. I can't remember. But the weekend games were excellent. Every single one, really exciting football, good attacking play. It culminated with France beating Spain in the final, 2-1. But yeah, all of the games from the semi-finals to the final were all excellent, Mikey.
Well, I ignored the first game for obvious reasons.
What are they? What are those reasons?
Italy were playing.
Hater.
No, but it is what it is. So I think you should go through that, and then I can talk about France.
Go on, Uche. You've got your Juventus top on, so obviously you want to talk about Italy.
No, I want to talk about Spain, my favorite subject, actually. Again, for the second time in a row, in how many days, how many months, they were the better team. Dominated the play, deserved to win. Bonucci does the dumbest thing I've ever seen, making it a no contest at that point. It was already going to be hard. But that sending off just basically summed up how they were feeling. They can get a look in. Spain dominated, was being held in Italy. And despite all of that, Spain didn't seem to matter to Spain. So it's a bit frustrating watching that. But Bonucci being on the yellow and then doing what he did was just ridiculous. So that was a big shame. So I always felt at that point they're going to lose. So it's just a matter of how many you're going to lose by. And then somehow they decided to dash Italy a goal. Italy had some chances, actually, but I always felt it was like a tease because Spain could keep the ball so well. But it was a good game. It was a really good, entertaining game. So fair play. It's not my favorite moment watching Spain win. But like I say, sometimes in football, you're just going to say, look, they're just better than you. They were better than Italy when we went to Wembley, I felt. And,
did he say we?
You hearing this guy?
did he just say we?
I said we.
Mate, I need to check your passport.
Oh my God. I think you and you, we went to it as in we.
Oh, we. Okay, I'm with you now. I thought you're claiming residency in a European country.
You're really a funny dude. It's like we and you went.
Definitely
to the game.
We did go to the game. Yeah, my bad. My bad, Uche.
I don't know where you're going with your stuff. So yeah, again, I thought that they probably would have gone through, and the game went to penalties, and Italy won through. So it was always going to be tight, but there's no question that Spain, to me, are Italy cannot enjoy facing that, and despite them missing a few injured players, Italy were missing some players, but to be honest, Immobile was not going to do much anyway. Deserved winners, so it was a good game. But just a shame that Bonucci decided to ruin it. I would like to have seen how Italy held up against them with 11 against 11. But as soon as that went off, I knew it was over. So congratulations to Spain for that game.
Okay, and Mikey, I take it you watched the other game, which was the France versus Belgium game.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. Belgium seemed to have the game wrapped up. And France have this tendency now, it's well publicised, they concede goals and then they come back, if they come back. So it didn't happen in the last tournament, but this time round, they managed to come back both games. I think second half, they were the better team. Belgium didn't really show too much. Lukaku, his goal was decent, but you'd expect Lloris to be a bit better at the near post. It wasn't decent, it was a good goal.
Wait, say that again?
What's that?
Lloris, you'd expect Lloris to be better, did you say?
Yeah.
Lloris?
I'd expect any keeper to be better at their near post.
Okay.
That's the spot where they shouldn't concede. So
no, you're right.
Whether it's a good strike or not, which it was, I still think the keeper should be standing in the way of it at his near post. And then France kind of just took over in the second half. Belgium were trying to counter and didn't have too many answers. Lukaku was wearing Timbs in the second half. De Bruyne's off this season. He isn't looking like the same player, although he's kind of showed up in moments. He's definitely off. You can tell by some of the passing that he's doing, where he'd have through balls and he's just missing the man. France were good. When France are good, France are good. When they're bad, they're bad.
They're pretty bad, yeah.
Belgium are pretty consistent.
Consistent and not winning big games.
Consistently kind of second tier.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is probably, I guess we've got the World Cup next year, but they're coming to the end of that cycle of players, the Hazards, the Vertonghen's, all those guys. I don't see many of the youngsters coming through either, so it'll be interesting to see whether I don't know why they're still ranked. They were ranked number 1, right?
Yeah, they're still ranked number 1.
I don't understand why they're still up there, but
because they beat everybody else. That's
it's coefficient, isn't it?
The coefficient thing, and they beat everybody, and despite everyone being down,
they always win. Yeah,
they're winning a lot of games. They win a lot of games. They beat a lot of teams,
except for when it matters.
They get to the latter stage. Even, for example, this Nation League, you needed to top your group to be in it, and they did that. Obviously, that's going to gain more points for them. But I'm not really down on Belgium because it is what it is. You know, football at the highest level. They're a ridiculously small country, so I don't know why people are so down on them. I don't understand it.
I don't think they expect to win. I read some comments from De Bruyne, which were a little bit kind of. He's saying they're a small country, stating the facts, but you want him to be bigging up the thing, like he's like the lead player of Belgium. He's making excuses.
Unfortunately for them, obviously, he's reaching what you consider his peak. And unfortunately, as Hazard no longer at his peak, and then you got Company who would have been the main man, has gone past and retired. And then the other two are pretty much retired, and they have to keep bringing them out to play because there's no one coming through. It's just one of those sad situations that happens with all these national teams where it's a ridiculously small country. It's hard to get the talent together. They had that little sniff, little chance, that little window. It's so tiny, even tinier for them. They didn't take the chance, and then that's it. I mean, for me, I'm just not down on it. Like, I know Belgium in the scale of things. They'd be like Netherlands. Let's be honest. These two countries should be nowhere near the semi-finals of big events. Just a ridiculously tiny country. And whatever they do, just should get props, but they get this instead. Is weird. I just find it all strange. So,
yeah, but I think it's more when golden eras come through, people get dissed. Remember the whole
true
English golden era, although the countries are different, but when the golden eras come, and Belgium had a golden era, that window.
Do you know that 2016? That's the one for me. That was the one. Looking back, but he wasn't in charge now. Yeah, that was the one. You can't get beaten. You can't get knocked out by Wales, man. No disrespect. You can't get knocked out. That was the chance I would have felt, because you get through that and you're facing Portugal, and you fancy your chances. But since then, they've been knocked out by Brazil, and then later on by Italy, I believe, in this tournament. And then, the Nations League. Now with Nations League, you got this team knocked them out. So it's been tight, but they just simply better. Look at that goal by Benzema. I mean, that goal is just. I mean, what'd you say? That's world class. What can you do about certain things? So.
Yeah, and then obviously we had the third place playoff between Belgium and Italy yesterday. Again, another great game, which finished with Italy winning 2-1. And then the final, France against Spain. Spain took the lead, but France, as Mikey was saying earlier, came back and did what they do.
Yeah, I don't like the way that Spain play. They just retain the ball for no reason. Their wingers were atrocious yesterday.
Who played wide?
Torres on the right, he was a nonsense. And was it Oyarzabal? However you pronounce it, real Spaniard, come on, pronounce it.
Oyarzabal.
Right, there we go. Yeah, he was horrific, apart from his goal. Like any time a ball, and Theo Hernandez was terrible as well. Couldn't play a ball in. So they got the ball wide so much, and they could attack them. And they had the beating for pace and skill wide, but they couldn't find the man. They couldn't deliver the ball. They'd come back down the line to Azpilicueta. It was just watching paint dry for lots of periods of the game. And then you look for France on the counter because they actually attack with pace and a bit of trickery in the middle with Pogba. I just like their approach. And then second half, they took it more forward because they needed the goals. But yeah, no, I enjoyed watching France play. Some people don't, but I think Griezmann dropping in, Benzema, Mbappe, Pogba, like they're just players that I want to watch. And Griezmann's been really good this tournament in that kind of withdrawn role. Well, he's almost playing midfield, to be fair, but linking up the play, transitions.
Yeah, and Benzema, Uche, is playing at the top of his game. I've seen some people saying he might be on for the Ballon d'Or, which is crazy, but he's playing really well. Fantastic goal yesterday as well.
Yeah, I saw this guy play at Lyon. He was just one of the best players I've ever seen live. Obviously, when CR7 steps on the pitch, after just Real Madrid, you have to bow to the king. And I think that's done him a huge disservice because I just think technically he's an excellent striker. But during those years, he had to just do what he has to do to bow down to the king. And since the last 2 years now, 2 seasons, we're now seeing the Benzema literally come out. Literally reminds me of what I saw at Lyon, which is quite incredible because we're talking about a long, long time ago. Technique, left foot, right foot. He can head the ball. He can make runs. He's quite skillful in tight spaces. And then you go and dash him Mbappe as a strike partner, and you've got Griezmann doing his thing and Pogba. It's just an interest. I still think they've got a wrong manager, but it is what it is. You know, if you bring someone like Zidane managing that kind of team, I think you'll see what France can really do with that kind of talent and management. But they still play way too cautious for my liking, unless the chips are down, and that's what happened in the final. The chips were down again, and it's like, okay, we're gonna be knocked out. We need to do something. Just feel like they play way too much counter-attack for what they are and the quality that they have. But again, it was another great game. But yeah, it's just honestly, look at that team and the talent they have. It's incredible. Honestly, Benzema, Mbappe, and Griezmann, the level of IQ of football that you're seeing there. And then you have Pogba supplying them. And obviously, Kante was missing this tournament because I think he's still under the COVID protocol, I presume. So if there was ever you need to defend, you can always rely on Kante coming on as well. So they're gonna be huge favorites coming into the World Cup. But obviously, it wasn't my greatest show because I don't really feel either of them. But if I have to pick, it will never be Spain anyway. So no matter who you put against it, anything that's not Spain automatically becomes your favorite for me. So naturally, I was
such a hater.
Win, but it's not something I normally want to happen too tough because I just don't like the way they play. I don't like the way they're set up. I just think it's slightly too negative for my liking. But it was a great final, great Nations League. Can't really complain. Just an excellent game of football all around.
Excellent game of football, definitely. And we've got a comment here from Orabi1, all about the Nations League. Well, Orabi1.
National League.
Sorry. Yeah, he doesn't even, national. Okay, I see.
We know
I see what he's doing. Okay. All about the National League. All right, everyone. I'm sure you're not a fan of great football. That's what the problem is. But let's bring it back to domestic affairs. Obviously, there's a lot more games going on this week. But one of the things that broke, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, was the takeover of Newcastle by, I don't know what vehicle they've called it, but let's be honest, it's the Saudi state, isn't it? So Newcastle have new owners, finally.
May I state that I'm not involved in that statement?
I categorically state that
Actually, let me take that back. It's not the Saudi state at all. It is whatever vehicle they've called it. Is it PIF? Whatever it is. Anyway, I didn't do the research before coming on.
That's all I know, PIF. I don't know anything else.
It's not. I take it back. This is not the views of If It Wasn't For My Knees. It's not the Saudi state at all. It's an investment vehicle that has some investors. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, new owners. Mike Ashley's finally relinquished ownership of the club. And have we got another Man City on the horizon, Uche?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think Simon Jordan, I think there was a clip going around on TalkSport where he talks about, perfectly summed up. I'm just going to repeat some of what he said, which is that, you got a 3-year window to go a bit mad because the club is being run in such a way where FFP is off the table. So you can go a bit nuts and knowing that full well that you can recover and then be within the FFP. I mean, that's what Moshiri tried to do with Everton. But this is why FFP helps the big clubs, because they've only got 3 or 4 years max. And then they have to comply to the usual nonsense of setting them out for the club and the EPL. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Indeed. And there's news breaking this evening, Mikey, about Amanda Staveley, who incidentally was involved in trying to sell Liverpool to Dubai back in the day, if you remember, but that didn't quite happen. But Mikey, there's there's talk of Amanda Staveley going to meet Bruce to sort of sort out his managerial future.
I mean, sort out his exit plan.
Pretty much.
Yeah. New owners come in, manager goes out. There's no surprises here.
And has there been any rumours as to who they're looking to bring in? I heard Favre's name mentioned.
Lampard.
There was another. There was some silly rumours about Lampard or Gerrard.
Yeah.
But Rangnick is the guy, apparently.
Okay. Is he in employment at the moment?
I don't know. That's the guy that I've seen. And it makes sense, to be honest, at the stage that they're at and what they'll be trying to do.
Mm.
And they can attract quite a few players that aren't playing for their clubs, players that have flopped at the big level.
Do you think that's going to happen straight away? Because as we saw with Man City, it took a while for them to get those top level players.
They still got players. I think Uche circulated some of them, and then they got Robinho, players like that. So there are players that are on the peripheries. There are players that nobody else has wanted for a season or so, like Coutinho. Like Coutinho, stuck at Barcelona. Nobody even knows if Coutinho is still like a decent level player. But he'll be available for sure, and they'll be able to afford him. Barcelona will be looking to make some money. There'll be other clubs that are looking to make some money, and Newcastle will be able to spend some money. That's not even taken into account that there are players that they could probably get. They've managed to get St. Maximin when they're without any ownership, and he's a really good player. So if they get more of his kind of level around for this first stage, then that's just the first level up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, can't remember who it was. Is this Steve something or whatever? I don't know if he's still there. They used to have that scout that everyone used to rate a lot. So they definitely still. Yeah, that's what brought in. That's what brought in Ben Arfa back in the day, and like you said, right now you got Saint Maximin. There's definitely a French network there, and he's been shown time and time. Leicester did it, bringing Kante and obviously Mahrez. So yeah, if you know what you're doing, you could definitely get some really talented players to come in and join you up there, and then you just have to sprinkle it with some of the EPL players. An example right now, off the top of my head, would be Barkley. I mean, he's not my favorite player in the world, but again, someone like that. You're
you
not
see,
playing.
just straight away, you're coming up with names that are going to improve them, and they're obtainable as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, these guys are not going to play by January. They will come at least first agree a loan to buy or whatever. I mean, money's not an object, so come
I
on.
was thinking just now as well, like Hosamawa, players like that.
Yeah.
Leon are going to be selling.
Yeah.
If one of the bigger clubs don't come in, Newcastle were there with the money to package up a deal. And some of these players, they're just looking for that kind of meal ticket if they can't get that kind of top deal.
Yeah.
He's been touted around everywhere. So players like that, Newcastle will level up next season. A lot of their players, they're gone.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they wanted to get rid of Bruce, because you have to be sharp, because what you need to do now is start planning for January now, really. Start getting to work.
They got a window quick as well.
Yeah, those windows, just got to be sharp with it, and you got to be intelligent and try and buy these players, because like I say, 3 years you got, and then you now have to, you're forced to maintain, basically, which is what happened to Everton. They were forced to maintain. That's why they ended up getting Grays and Townsend and stuff like that, because after a while, their accounts start looking a bit silly, and you have to maintain. But yeah, you got 3 years to have a go at it, go a bit nuts.
Hey, everyone, you're taking a mick, mate. If Laka went there, nah. He must have heard about Newcastle if he goes there, that's all. But
life is good for Laka, man. Why shouldn't he go there?
Nah, he's a level above. Come on.
I know, of course he is, but no, not really. I mean, you say the disrespect, but these people start getting.
He's being linked with Atletico and Inter, and now you're saying Newcastle.
I know. Okay, maybe.
Wait, you was linking Coutinho just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Levels, isn't it?
Lacazette's going kind of final next move, isn't it? Really for Lacazette.
Yeah, Newcastle. That's why it's perfect.
Retirement.
He's not Alan Shearer, you know.
No, I could see that. I mean, these guys it's such a high quality player who's not getting enough games. Right now, today, Lacazette is not getting enough games, right?
Yeah, but Atletico need to want him.
Pepe as well. He's not getting enough games.
He isn't, to be fair. But
that one is a bit too expensive, mate.
Nah, they can afford it now. They can afford it now.
That's true. Yeah, what is money to those guys? Nothing. I think it'll be interesting. I mean, to be honest, I'm happy that we've done what we've already done. That's all I can say, because if Newcastle are coming at a certain time, I think Liverpool are in trouble. I honestly do. And it's not even me trying to be funny, but so I'm glad they came now and not later. That's all I can say.
Whose level?
I'm saying our team is set now, yeah. So we can give people players that are not going to be tempted. But if they were saying they came before the whole, and we're still messing around 2 or 3 years ago before the Coutinho deal happened, we brought Van Dijk, all that. They're coming around that period. I think it'll be problems. We would have had some serious problems. Yeah. So I'm glad they come now, because I think now we're more settled. We can fob them off. Because everybody's got to watch themselves. If it is an unhappy player, Newcastle is only a call away.
Yep. The answers comment there, I think that's in reference to Laka, Mikey.
Yeah, you could say that, but Atletico and Inter want him, so it's not really. It's different leagues, isn't it?
Indeed. And we got another comment from everyone. Laka is jamming on the bench for Arsenal with NCL rebuilding for the new generation. He is perfect.
Listen, everyone, no one's saying that Laka isn't perfect for them. They aren't perfect for Laka. Let's be honest. Like, nobody's saying that it's not. If they don't offer good money, we shouldn't sell. We're saying that Lacazette will not want to go there.
Yeah, but right now, he's got 1 year to get back in the French squad, right? So that's got to be a big motivation. He's not in it.
Listen, he goes into Milan, he scores goals for them.
Oh, you're saying the Inter, but look, man, Premier League is where he's at. It's where he's at, man. Premier League's where he's at. If he bangs goals in Premier League,
no, you're not listening. Inter want him.
How are they going to pay for him anyway?
Huh?
Yeah,
how are they going to pay for? I thought they had no money. Inter.
Well, he's going to be free soon.
Loan money.
Okay, yeah.
Lacazette's going to be free soon.
Listen, talk to his agent, so yeah, Lacazette will jump at this part.
Isn't he in the last year of his contract? I'm sure he is. So he's going to pre-contract in January. He's going to one of those clubs.
In fact, he can buy both of them, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Why not?
They can't afford Aubameyang.
What, 30-odd-year-old Aubameyang? Of course they can.
Doesn't matter. The transfer fee, he's just signed a new contract. Megabucks. How much would they have to pay him?
You guys are
Messi
in trouble.
wages.
You're the kind of club they could come after for sure. You're definitely the kind of club right now that Newcastle could come for. One of your players.
No
That
chance.
cause mad problems. What do you mean? It's not like your owner's gonna keep saying no to the offers. They're gonna come to a point. They have to say, "All right, you could go." Man.
Listen, if Newcastle want to come for our players, yeah, they're in trouble. They're not progressing. Like what players? List the players that they're gonna come for, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking
Come
like
now.
I'm not really
Saka.
feeling right
Saka,
now,
yeah.
Saka, yeah.
Saka's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saka, yeah. Why not?
Dreamland.
Give it a few years, mate. Give it a couple of years. We'll see.
You guys are in trouble.
You're in dreamland.
You guys are in trouble, man. I'm telling you.
They're gonna come and buy Saka, yeah.
Maybe not right now, but I'm telling
They're
you.
gonna come and buy Saka.
Newcastle.
Wait, you don't know about Saka then?
Boy, not now. Everything's all good. Kushti,
Listen,
all
if
of that.
Newcastle are in for Saka, then the best clubs are in for him.
But he's one. They one. That's what we're trying to tell you. Levels have changed. They're one of the best.
No, they haven't. It will take 2 or 3 years.
Boy.
There's a transitional period. They're not. How many players can they get in January?
I'll probably say 4 max, maybe 3 or 4. Don't want to
So,
go crazy.
So they're going to have about 3 or 4 transfer windows before they've even got a team that can do anything, really.
Boy, that's a Maxima. You got that Wilson. They've got a nice understanding. Give him one more of that, one on the other side, and Wilson is fine for now to be popping. You just need another person on the other side,
as long as he's fit.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. We'll move on from talking about the takeover, but let's do a quick preview of the fixtures that are coming up this weekend. As I mentioned, there's lots of international football continuing to happen. And that's going to impact on the games at the weekend in terms of how players come back. As we heard or saw yesterday, France had an injury at the back with what's his name, Man United, Varane. So he might be injured for United, but for Liverpool, playing on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff away to Watford. Is it, Uche, I'm going to ask you this because I've not read up on what the latest situation is, but is it not the case that because Brazil are playing after midnight on Wednesday, so Thursday morning they're playing, Alisson and Fabinho are in the squad, it's unlikely that they're going to be starting for the game against Watford on 12:30 on Saturday?
It's not going to happen unless they release them early. And he doesn't normally do that. So I looked and they both played, funnily enough, which they never play. They both played the last 2 games. So that's just funny to me. So I don't know if the guy is trolling or something. I don't know what's
happening. He is. Of course he is.
That's delightful.
So that was just interesting to know. I was like, why did it started again? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So I don't know is the answer. If the only way is that he lets them go early and they don't make that last game. But I don't see why. That's not his style. He likes having his players all the way through. So you can pretty much assume they're going to play. If they do play, they can't make the games. There's not enough time. Just simple as that. So they'll just miss the game. So that's why they asked for the dispensation for Watford to move the game. Watford obviously said no. So it is what it is. We probably will have Kelleher and we need to have a defensive midfield. But like you say, if somehow it pulls out and he lets them go early and they don't play in that game, then it'll be like breaking news and everybody would know towards the latter end. But that's not his style at all. This game is interesting because I was quite comfortable until they start sacking managers. So I don't like that bounce back. That's nonsense that happens with the first manager where people start running around like jokers and start looking to impress. So I'm not gonna go too crazy, especially after what happened with Brentford. So yeah, maybe we'll just sneak this one. I would say maybe 2-1.
2-1. So Watford manager was sacked and they brought in what's his name to come in. I've forgotten his name now. Ranieri. They brought in Ranieri, and as you say, there tends to be that new manager bounce that some clubs get. But at the same time, some of these players would have been out on international duty this week, and he might not have had a lot of time to work with them. So it's an interesting fixture. Luckily, it's not a 5:30 kickoff like the Brentford game, so the fans can't get
It's worse. It's the early kickoff. It's worse. What do you mean?
Well, I'm talking about in terms of atmosphere. It might not be as
okay.
raucous as the Brentford game was, and that kind of helped them to
don't expect. I'm
unsettle
not
us.
expecting anything whatsoever from Liverpool this weekend. Like I'm literally saying, we're just doing a job. We're doing a job. That's what we're doing. Someone like Milner will play. Obviously, Matip will play. All these guys because they don't go on international. We're almost certain to get touches. But I'm not expecting anything great. I'm just expecting just do a job and then move on to the midweek games. But yeah, I'm hoping we obviously win more than 2-1. But I'm just not confident.
Yeah, interesting. Likewise, I'm not. If it was the old manager, I would have said, yeah, should be a Liverpool win, but I'm erring towards a draw. So, yeah.
Mikey, you record. We've got this, haven't we? Right? At the end of the season, we're gonna play 38, right? And according to
38 points.
38 draws.
Well, I said the Man City game. What did I tell you? Must not lose. I reckon it'll be a draw. What happened? It was a draw.
No.
I'm just saying again. Given the circumstances, given our keeper's not going to be there, and given there's a new manager bounce, I think it's not going to be that straightforward for Liverpool. Mikey, what is your prediction?
I think it's going to be straightforward. I think Watford are terrible.
To be honest, I've not seen them play at all this season. So
they're probably one of the best teams that you could play if you're not going to be at it. So in that way, it's fortunate. And I read about a week ago that you guys took too long to request the game to be moved. And so Watford refused it because you wanted to move the game. So you're not moving correctly. But I still expect a good win. Watford are bad. They rely on Saw to literally produce everything.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. What side does Saar play on? Robertson's side.
Yeah. Robertson.
So Robertson. If Robertson's at it, he should be buoyed by Scotland's international games. Then, yeah.
And don't forget, Tsimikas might come in if he's not. So,
nah, he'll ruin Tsimikas.
I don't think he'll be playing Tsimikas. There's no reason to play Tsimikas, man. I mean, that's come on, man.
It depends. It depends. How many games is Scotland playing?
Two.
I think they're done. Yeah, they're done.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, comfortable victory.
He's also an international, no? So he's probably somewhere in Greece as well.
I don't know what. Yeah, maybe.
You don't care about him, no?
I don't care about what Greece are doing. I don't care what Greece are doing. Is what I'm saying.
Jamming at home. Tsimikas ain't jamming at home. He's with Greece, mate.
Fair enough. All right. So we've got a comfortable victory according to Mikey. We've got a sneaky win according to Uche, and according to me, we've got a draw. If you see me looking down, it's because Wales.
You really want to say a loss.
I don't. No, I don't. I really don't want to say a loss. I can't. They beat us. They were when we played their last. Uche will know about this because we were abroad. When COVID was just becoming a thing, we were in Madrid watching the game in a bar, and they slapped us up nicely when we won the league. So hopefully it's not repeated that.
I'm laughing because every time we get together with these people, and we're like, yeah, nice comfy.
Well, you need to do it a bit more.
We went through so much problems. When I found this Liverpool bar in Madrid and everything organized, they were thinking nice, lovely day, Then
3-0 slaps. Got slapped up. Some massacred us.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about who else is playing. We got Arsenal playing against Palace at home. Mikey, Palace are a decent side. They're a decent side. I don't know what their record is like at your ground at the Emirates, but they're a decent side. So what do you think?
We've got a decent enough record against Palace at home. I don't like playing Palace. Zaha likes to score against us. Hope he doesn't on Saturday. But yeah, 2-1. Hopeful of a 2-1. Could easily be a draw.
Yeah, that's what I think it will be. I think it'll be a draw, maybe 1-1 or something. Uche, what do you think?
I'm going for a Palace win. I think Palace can do Arsenal. I've watched what they play. I'm really impressed with Vieira, and if Vieira doesn't get shook and get all this love that he's gonna get from obviously, rightly so, by the lovely guys at the Emirates Stadium for his contribution to the game. I think if Palace play to what they're capable of, I've seen highlights of. I think they can beat Arsenal. Arsenal are just not that great, so I'm gonna go for an upset. Arsenal 1, Palace 2.
Just to recollect on some points you just made there. How much of Arsenal have you seen this season?
I watched you guys against Brentford. That was good.
Listen,
I watched
you
you
haven't
guys
watched
against-
Arsenal, and you're saying Arsenal aren't that great.
Wait, let me finish.
I'm just saying, it's the points that I pulled from your statement just then. I pulled a couple of points.
Okay.
You mentioned that you've seen highlights of Crystal Palace, so you haven't even seen them play.
No, I watched them play. I watched them play.
Watch them play you. That's
Spurs.
it.
I watched them play Spurs, and then I watched them play.
Okay. So you've barely seen Palace. You've seen
no way.
You haven't seen us, and yet you're predicting Arsenal Palace are going to win.
I answered your question. They played Spurs. I thought they were good there and won the game. I mean, the first half was proper dry, and then they obviously won the game with 10 men. I watched that full game. Obviously, I watched the game against us. What do you want me to be doing? I watched your game against Brentford, and I watched you guys against Spurs a bit. What's the problem? I just think you guys are weak.
You said we're bad. If you watched us against Spurs, you couldn't say that.
No, because
if you watched us against Brighton, you could say that.
No, do you know why? Because when I watch Spurs, you know why sometimes you give too much credit to one side, and then unfortunately you watch them again, you have to take them credit away. I felt that Spurs, you guys destroyed Spurs, but it's because Spurs were so bad. It was so bad. Whereas I think Palace can give you a game. Honestly, I really do, because they've got this Zaha kid, they've got this Olise kid. I think he'll give you a game.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just pulling your comments apart.
But you guys could easily win as well. But I'm just thinking that they'll give you guys a game. I think they can do it 2-1. Just go believe that he needs to stop all this loving and just go for it. Just look to bang up his former side. That's what he has to do.
That's what he has to do. It's easily said and done. They are a good side though, so I expect they'll put in a good performance, hopefully. And I think it'll be a draw myself. Let's talk about, you mentioned there, Uche, Brentford. Brentford are at home, the evening kickoff on Saturday against Chelsea. Now, are they gonna do to Chelsea what they did to us? Evening kickoff again?
It really depends on Lukaku on this game, because they do give you chances, man. You just got to put them away. They gave us more than enough chances to score 3 goals. You score 3 goals away from home, you should come away with 3 points. We defended better with Chelsea. We 100% defend better than we did. No question about it. There's no doubt about that. They're just a better defensive unit at the moment. But there's no way they're going to be scoring 3 goals against Chelsea that I can see. So they need to fix up at the back. However, like he said, the place will be buzzing. It's obviously got some London connotation to it. I don't know if he technically that's still Brentford is he considered a London club per se?
It's West London.
Okay. So if it's considered London, that's big.
West London derby then.
Yeah, West London derby. That's a big game. So I'm hoping that they get a draw. That's what I'm gonna go for. But I think I'm going towards a 1-1. But I just think that Chelsea are so strong defensively, and it really annoys me. So I would love for Brentford to at least go up in the lead and try and hold on. But from what I saw in the game against Brentford, I think there's a lot of holes in their defense. So Chelsea just need to put some away, and they'll probably win. But I'm still going for the draw, 1-1.
1-1 draw. Mikey, what do you think?
3-1
to Brentford.
No chance.
I had to ask.
Brentford have done well. They're just not as good as they're good, but they're not good. Yeah, like they'll stay up good, but to put up a performance against Chelsea, Liverpool should have tucked them away. There's just frailties at the back that kind of did Liverpool in. But yeah, Brentford will be commended for what they've done so far, but that's it, isn't it?
I think a bit like the Liverpool match, it will be a case of it's a free hit for them. It's early in the season. They've done well. They've got points on the board. So they can just go out and do what they did really. And if they get slapped, they get slapped. It doesn't really make any difference to the rest of the season because they're expected to lose to Chelsea anyway. So that's the only thing that makes me think they might put in a big performance again. And as I say, they kick off all that stuff that goes with it. As to whether I didn't see the Liverpool game properly. I only saw highlights here and there. So I don't really know how Brentford play. I saw the match against you guys. I know Tony is a handful, and the guy that he plays alongside gets around him and gets his shots off.
They play the same way.
I don't think that's gonna trouble Chelsea as much with the three at the back as it has against us and you guys. Yeah, so I'm erring towards a Chelsea win for that one. But Chelsea have got quite a good run of fixtures coming up, so. Yeah, I expect them to stay up around the top of the table for a little while.
For a little while, till the end of the season, mate.
Wow,
for a little while.
Not at the top, but you said around the top. They'll be there all season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Top.
They're not going to drop away.
Oh yeah, they'll be up. Yeah, they'll be up. Yeah. You're right. Another team that's hoping to be around the top is Man United, and they're away to Leicester. Years gone by, I would have seen that as a hard fixture for United, but I don't know what Leicester are doing this season, frankly.
Leicester are dreadful. Like, they're horrible. Brendan's just lost the plot.
Yeah.
He's just bought like too many players. He doesn't know what to do with them. I guarantee he doesn't know what 11 to start against United on whenever they're playing Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, but saying that, I reckon a draw.
Is that because Ollie's at the wheel?
The manager's a clown, and he's going to cost them. But I'm not disheartened by that. I'm happy that he's going to cost them. So yeah. Like, I thought that United would be up there and doing more, but this next round of games now, this is like the proof in the pudding. Yeah. The next 7 or 8 games, let's see what they can do. Let him rotate them.
Yep. And Luce, what do you think the result is going to be against?
I think I'm open to a shock because from what I've seen, unfortunately, I think Leicester, he's the guy definitely something has gone wrong somewhere. So for Leicester to be a shock, but it's this kind of game that should change their season. I'm hoping it'll change their season because so far it's been pretty dire. It doesn't get worse than this. So I'm not basing it on what I've seen so far. I'm just thinking that Leicester will be up for this game. Vardy and Cole will be up for this game. And no matter what Rodgers does, they will try and pull it out of the bag because it's going to be counter versus counter. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I'm going to back Leicester to just about but I still consider it a shock because the way they've been playing this season. I think maybe they'll pull it out 2-1. So
a big factor that I've just remembered, if Maguire's still out, Varane's injured as well, then their centre-backs are going to be Bailly and Lindelof. And so Vardy will have some fun against them. So that kind of improves their chances. But then I back CR7 against their defenders, to be honest. Anything coming in the air, he'll be around.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for a Leicester win. Mikey, you 2-1, I'm going to say. Mikey, you mentioned, and that's just plucked out of the air. That's more hope, actually. I want United to lose every game they play. Not begging. I just want them to lose every game.
Leicester, I beg, 2-1. Come.
No. I just want United to lose every game that they ever play. But anyway, Mikey, you mentioned their run of fixtures. So I've just pulled out the fixtures. So they've got Leicester away, and then they're home to Atalanta, which is going to be a big match for them in the context of that Champions League group. Then it's a home to us, then away to Tottenham, then away to Atalanta, then it's the Manchester derby, and then it calms down a little bit before they play Chelsea and Arsenal back-to-back in the league. So if Ollie can come out at these run of games, this is October, November. If he can come out of those run of games still with a job, then I'll
Still with a job,
But he's done it before, hasn't he? You know, when people think that chips are down, counter, good win games, and everything changes. So I don't know, man. I actually think they perform worse against teams that should beat more than these kind of teams, because they just now he can just sit back and just try and counter. And like Mikey say, he helps if you have that killer and a few other killers that they have on their side, and they can change the game. I don't think you're going to expect any better play. Manchester United are not better than the top, the so-called top three that we expect. They're nowhere near that level. However, when you face them one face to face, if you're caught slipping, you're going to be caught slipping because they don't mess about. So that's the biggest. That would be.
But they should be.
They should be, but they're not. When you watch the game, there's no
manager
as a better team. Yeah, I agree.
Like, the players that they have, they should be.
Yeah,
there shouldn't even be a question that like they're going to be one of the main teams at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
such a shame, isn't it? Let's wrap it up there. So a few interesting games coming up this weekend. We're going to finish off with highlight of the week. Only 3 of us this week. So Mikey, you can go first.
What's the point?
Obviously,
I wonder what he's going to pick.
What am I going to? Tyson Fury, obviously. You know?
Obviously.
Destructive performance. Bronze Bomber got smashed up again.
Again.
And it was a pattern of almost the second fight, except for the referee. The corner didn't throw in the white towel. It's exactly what would have happened the fight before. He would have been getting smashed up then. So the corner saved him some damage last time, and he
sacked the guy.
And I've seen some interviews with Malik Scott, his cornerman, where he's agreed with Wilder never to throw the white towel in because he wants to go out on his shield. Really, it's some nonsense. But he got knocked out. Hope he's happy.
Wilder's a clown, but he got anyway. Uche, what's your highlight of the week?
What's this? What kind of highlight can I possibly have? It's not gonna be France, is it? I mean, what the hell is this? You give it to
be France.
You know the rules. Uche. You got to come prepared.
There's no highlight of the week after Fury, man. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. I mean,
that's not good enough. Come on. What's your highlight of the week?
There's no highlight. It's done. No highlight.
I've got one for you. Messi.
For what?
I know that's your highlight. of the week.
For scoring a goal with cross-come shot that went in. That deceived the goal.
Was it?
Yeah, the goal wasn't even a goal, really. But yeah.
But you got to give it
top international South American goal scorer of all time. It's not a highlight of the week for you, Uche.
When did that become a thing? Top South American, blah, blah, blah. People are just inventing things. Top Argentinian top scorer, top, local league, top. What's all this?
All right, you don't want that one. Okay, I tried to help you out. What's your highlight then?
It's gonna have to be France. I mean, they're collecting trophies, aren't they? You know, people that have been in the squad for a while, they're collecting them. So it's got to be France. You know, in at least giving me some sort of smile on my face to make sure that Spain didn't collect anything. So just on that alone, it's got to be the highlight after Fury. Yeah, I'm going for France. I'm gonna be interested to see what you're gonna be your highlight now.
I've done it. Messi.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
So thanks for joining us, everyone. We're back next week. Seriously though, thanks for joining us. I know International Week is not for everyone, but thank you for joining us, everyone who's been watching. Back again next week. As always, we're on social media, so follow, like, share, do all that stuff. We're back again on Monday with another show. So we'll see you again then.
Cheers.
Ooh.